Hey everyone, welcome back to this course. In this section, I'll be teaching you some basic information that you need to know to take the Writing Task 1 essay. Let's get started. Here is some basic information. So first of all, you're going to be writing a report on an infographic. So when you're writing your essay, you're going to receive some kind of a chart, graph, table, or a diagram on which you have to write a report. Next, keep in mind that the task number 1 essay is worth half as many points as task number 2. So make sure that you leave enough time to finish the task number 2. Okay, you don't want to lose points on task number 2 since it's worth twice as many points. So how much time should you spend on task 1? Ideally, that should be about 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes for task number 1 so that you have 40 minutes left over for task number 2. As for the number of words that you need to write, you have to write at least 150 words. That is the minimum. I would say that you should try to aim for 180 words if you can, but definitely don't go over 200 words, okay? Because that can start to cut into your time that you have left over for the task number 2 essay. Now, one more thing to keep in mind is that even if you write just 150 words, that's totally fine. Okay, it's still possible for you to get a band 9 score with just 150 words. So the important thing here is the quality of your writing. Quality is always far more important than the quantity. For example, it's much better to write a shorter essay in which you have fewer mistakes than to write a much longer essay with a lot of mistakes. So always focus more on the quality of your writing. Next, keep in mind that the essay is factual in nature. This means that you have to write a very academic and a formal essay. So your opinions are not required. So don't be using words like I, you, we, or us. Next, you're going to have many different types of questions on the Writing Task 1. You may see a line graph question or a bar graph question, a pie chart question, a process or a diagram question. In some questions, you have to compare the data. In other questions, you have to describe the changes that are happening over a period of time. However, regardless of the different types of questions that you're going to see, keep in mind that the same basic strategy applies to every single question type. The strategy does not change, all right? So this makes it much more easier and simpler to answer the question, regardless of the type of question that you see. Now, you're going to be writing 4 paragraphs in total for your writing task essay, and you have to write a total of 8 to 11 sentences to write an essay that fits within the number of words that you need to write. Lastly, I recommend that you use a pencil when you're writing. This just makes your corrections much more easier and much faster, as opposed to using a pen, which may cause a mess on your answer sheet. Let me now break down the different paragraphs for you so that you can better understand what each of the paragraphs are about and how much time to spend and how many sentences to write. All right, let's take a look. So you have a total of 4 paragraphs. You have the introduction paragraph as your first paragraph. Then you have the overview paragraph for the second paragraph, and then you have your paragraphs number 3 and 4. So what exactly do you have to write in each of these paragraphs? Let's take a look. In the first paragraph, the introduction paragraph, you have to paraphrase the question language, okay? So when you see a question, there's going to be a brief description about what the infographic is about. What you have to do is rephrase this question language in your own words. For the second paragraph, the overview paragraph, you have to summarize the key information that you see in the infographic. And then in the third and the fourth paragraph, you have to describe the key details, which are the main features that stand out to you about that infographic. We'll cover all of this in much more detail later down the road. This is just a brief overview of what the paragraphs are about. Let's now take a look at how many sentences to write for each of these paragraphs. For the introduction paragraph, you only have to write 1 to 2 sentences. And then for the remaining paragraphs, you have to write 2 to 3 sentences per remaining paragraph. Lastly, how much time to spend on each of these paragraphs. On the introduction paragraph, you should be spending 2 to 3 minutes. For the overview paragraph, you should be spending 3 to 5 minutes. And then for the remaining paragraphs number 3 and 4, you should spend 5 minutes on each of those paragraphs. So this will bring your total time up to 20 minutes, which is how much time you have to finish this essay. If you do have any leftover time, I suggest that you go back to your essay and spend that time to check your work. So that concludes this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video, in which we're going to talk about the different types of questions that you're going to see on the Writing Task 1 essay. I'll see you there.